The most important threat facing the world and America is what happens to our weather, our climate, our well-being.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for today's hearing. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of order. Pursuant to House Rule 16, Clause 4A1, I have a privilege motion. I respectfully ask for us to adjourn.
Motion is tabled.
No, it's not debatable. It is up for a vote. I ask for a recorded vote immediately.
The motion is not debatable. The clerk will call the roll. We'll conduct a vote shortly after it takes a little bit of time to get set up.
Mr. Chairman, can you call the vote? All it takes is a notebook and a pencil and someone to call the roll. Mr. Chairman, do we have any idea how long it takes to get a staff member to sit at a table and call the roll? There is testimony happening right now. Lieutenant Colonel Vindman is testifying. I would like to be there, but we have a motion in front of the committee, appropriately made, privilege motion. I've never seen this happen. Call the roll. If you want to hold the roll open after we've all voted, hold it open. I'd like to vote and go back to the deposition. It's not our fault that your members won't show up.
For the record, now it's been 10 minutes, and we still have members having to stay here to do their due diligence in this committee when they're required down in the skiff.
The Republican clerk would be glad to take the roll. As chair, you have an obligation to take up a privilege motion at the time it is offered.
Let's
You can hold the roll open, you can hold the vote open, but you have to take the motion up.
The Democratic minority has never tried to interrupt a hearing like this, and here you are pulling a stunt. This chair
It's not a
is
stunt,
not going to
it's a
have the
privilege, it's
tally
a
take
privilege
place
motion,
until
Mr.
I
Chair.
decide.
Oh, so you're making the rules up as you go along?
No, I'm saying I will decide when
You
we
have a
take the tally.
privilege
We are
motion
waiting
on the
for-
table.
We are waiting
There is
for
only
the
one
staff to
course
get
of
here.
action.
Once
You
again,
have to take it
Mr.
up.
Jordan, if you need to be somewhere else, you should absolutely take the time to.
I need to be right
So-
here hoping that actually the Democrats will start enforcing the rules of the House. They're obviously not doing the proper rules and due process with the impeachment proceeding. And it's now been almost 15 minutes since the gentleman from Arizona made a privilege motion.
I know there's a strong
and you have
desire
yet
on
to
your
call-
part not to
you've yet
have
to call
the
the
facts
roll.
come to light, but this committee will proceed in short order once the staff is ready. Thank you.
Once the staff,
Once again, I want to reiterate, the staff is present here. You have counsel here that can do all the above.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment? I would like to do my job, and I try not to get out of my job at every opportunity. So given the fact that we have convened former governor of California and Senator Whitehouse here, we're here to talk about the very pressing issue of cutting our carbon emissions and saving our planet, and we have an entire political party that is trying to get out of their job, adjourn this hearing, and I just want to know what the reason for such a disrespect of our process would potentially be. Do we have a reason for why this hearing is trying to be adjourned, or, you know, do we have
I
just
have
like
one.
a cocktail party? to go
Yes.
to?
I have one. I have a really easy one. The oil industry is the second largest industry in my state. My constituents expect me to be here. We are running an impeachment hearing down in the basement of the
Wait, so
Capitol
is this
right
about
now.
the oil
No,
industry
no,
or
it's about
the
the
impeachment
economy of the
hearing?
state of North Dakota and my constituents.
And
The
North
reason-
Dakota.
the re-
This is a hearing
I want
about
to
California.
participate in this hearing, but I feel the need to be in the skiff because we're only one of 3 committees that's allowed to be in the room. I can do a lot of things. I can't be 2 places at once. I'm completely comfortable having this hearing. I just prefer to have it at a time when I could
And
participate in it.
this was a conversation that was brought up, and this could not have been brought up before we convened the senator and the governor. We're doing this when they're here.
we've expressed this last week about having
Professionalism?
2 things going on at the same time. It's not like we haven't talked about this, but you guys continue to do hearings at the same time there are depositions going on. As the gentleman from North Dakota said, we can't be 2 places at once. You talk about wanting to do your job? There's no way to do that when you have to be 2 places at once.
And just to be clear, there was exactly 1 Democrat in the room when this started.
Any clerk yet, Mr. Chairman?
Clerk is on the way.
Wow. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Clerk, Mr. Gosar has put a motion on the table to adjourn. Would you please take a call? Roll call.
On this vote, we have 7 noes and 6 ayes.
The motion is not agreed to. We will proceed with the hearing. And I have to say, I'm very disappointed in these antics. I have been in the SCIF room for many of these witness depositions. Many of the members that are afforded the ability from this committee to go there have not been in many of those depositions. The fact that they seem to want to make it an issue now clearly shows they care more about process and trying to prevent the good work of this committee to do the investigative work it is obligated to do under the Constitution and protect the president at all costs instead of doing their duty is disappointing. The fact that we have several members here that have been to this subcommittee meeting for the first time ever is incredibly disappointing. But with that, we're going to
I
move
find it
forward.
very
Now I want
offensive,
to
Mr.
welcome
Chairman.
our first panel of witnesses, the Honorable Edmund G. Jerry Brown Jr., former governor of California, and the Honorable Sheldon Whitehouse, a U.S. Senator from Rhode Island.